Welcome to the Insignificants, the oral history of Darling Waste, episode 23. This week we are looking at I Will Be Fine off of our sophomore album. I am Lance, one of your hosts. With me, as always, is Jamie. Hello, hello.
Hello. Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely. So it's been a couple weeks for us because we've been crushed by work.
But believe it or not, Internet, this is not what we do professionally. Yeah. I don't know if you could tell because it's a pretty slick production.
MeUndies doesn't pay enough. Actually, they don't even know we exist. So,
in fact, we pay them to promote their product.
So we got two really nice comments about Justin being on the podcast.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and just how funny we all are, and like how it's clear we all get along, and basically both people said I would listen just to a podcast of you three just doing whatever, like it doesn't matter, like
I love that,
and that's kind of what I
do more.
Yeah, I think the conceit of this show is just for us to hang out and talk, and it gives us a little bit of guardrails to do so, right?
100%.
Okay. Is there anything else? Oh, I did want to talk about this. I didn't think of it in the episode, but while I was editing it, I was talking about my favorite times playing Learn to Be Happy. And I forgot about this, and I think Justin was there, so I wish we would have talked about it with him. We have played some arenas that were like not professional sports arenas. Minor league stuff, or I actually swear to God, I don't even know what some of them were for. I
wonder if some of them are like we have like various arena type things that are like for rent by like travel high school teams and things like that, are like sports complexes. That's
what it kind of we played a couple, especially in the South. We tend to sometimes we got into those, like we just play this, and something we didn't even know it would say it'd be called something. And I don't know if you know that, like, or if you've seen that where sometimes like places will call themselves an arena or a drome, and it's a joke and it's just a bar. And sometimes you get there and it is, and you're like, oh shit, So this is
this
exactly
little 15-watt travel amp's not gonna do much here.
So we literally we got to a place in the middle of a tour, and it was after we'd already come back from England, and I think it was just me, Justin, and this drummer named Bert. His name was actually Justin Bert, but there was two Justins, so he became Bert. And
with a U or an E?
I think it was EHRT was his last name, like Bert,
okay,
kind of. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But insane thing. I think it was like, I mean, it might have been a weekend, but it feels like it was just a random during the week kind of show. And some band that had I'm telling the story horrible. They kind of were where we were when we first, like the times we're talking about right now. They had just gotten a song on MTV. They were these huge hometown heroes. They had just played, I think, like the 4th of July festival or something. So they rented this place out and said, let's have an all-day festival with the local radio station and all this stuff. And so we knew them from, I don't 100% remember how we knew them, but we had exchanged some shows with them, and they were good dudes. And they invited us to this thing. And so we were the opening band, the first band on this thing. I feel like there might even been like one of those like high school or school of rock bands or something, and they might have even played after us. It was definitely like Darling Waste, come down and play this show. It'll give the show a little bit more credit. It'll be fun for you. We'll throw you on first, kind of thing. And I do remember there was maybe, I don't know, 400 people. Now they had a decent size amount of people, but the place felt empty. And they were all spread out, and it was moms and kids and grandparents, and there was a radio station setting up, and we had to go play, and no one was paying attention. And we did open with Learn to Be Happy, and we just there was no backstage, it was off stage, but side stage, we were like, go fucking bananas. I remember telling Justin, like, I don't care if you hit a single fucking right note, like this thing is so backtracked anyway. We're probably fine. Just go nuts. And I do remember like coming out and just as soon as the back out to you down, I'm like, what the fuck is up, guys? You ready for a great fucking show? Get up here. And everyone just came like running up and screaming and just dragging the mic stand with me while I was playing guitar, and just wherever I had to start playing again is where I would be standing and singing, and it was awesome. I remember Justin was like jumping off the amps and just like throwing his bass around and stuff, and the crowd just absolutely ate it up. And then I remember like the next 4 bands were just like children, and then like old men playing country and standing around. We sold out of our merch. Like, I think we only had like 5 songs too, so like, we didn't have time to screw it up. So yeah, it was. I do remember that being a really fun.
Some of those random ass things are the most fun, memorable moments where you couldn't predict that it would be good, and in fact, if you predict it would be the opposite, and it just is one of those lightning in a bottle moments.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. Okay, so I think that's all I have for the background stuff. As always, please give us a like and follow on Spotify and YouTube, as this helps us reach people. Drop a question, leave us a voice note on Instagram at Darling Waste. If you enjoy the podcast, the best way to support us is checking out our merch shop, heartriot.co. It has the latest Darling Waste, Heart Riot, and 1034 Records merch. I sold a 1034 Records hoodie.
Congratulations.
So, I don't care. I sold one. So, if you guys like this and you want to throw me $10, go buy a t-shirt. I appreciate it. Okay. So do you want to jump into the song first? Do you want to talk about 1034 Club a little bit? What do you want to do?
How much do you think we got on the club? Do we need a whole club episode, or?
I think we can get by. Well, okay. So let's talk about just the beginning and building of the club maybe, and see how that goes. We are in 2004. We're getting the Wayback Machine. Head back to just after our summer tour.
And Manifest Destiny had not come out in 2004.
Correct. So still on the first record. We still haven't really even started recording Manifest Destiny. June 1st, I got the keys to the 1034 Club. You had moved out of the Hopkins house. Mm-hmm. I rented this entire building. It is 2 storefronts. Right? It's one building, 2 stories. It's not attached to anything. It's on Lorraine Avenue in Cleveland, so it's not downtown and not quite Lakewood. Kind of a lower rent place, but not the hood. Okay, is that kind of
and was accurate? It 2 stories, or were there actually 2 apartments above each side of the 2 storefronts?
No, just 2 stories.
2 stories. Okay,
but the storefronts were like 2 stories tall. It was a pretty tall ceiling, I guess. So it was weird. I rented both storefronts and only 1 apartment, but then the inside, the other apartment was vacant and the door was open. So we just also were in that one too, even though we didn't rent it. So the idea was we had the store in the mall for a few months. Oh, and also the idea is we wanted to have either a skateboard ramp in the back or a stage or both. Right, was kind of the thought, is if we could throw in-store performances for our label. So we ended up talking. We went to a bunch of different places. We found this place. It used to be a hookah shop and little restaurant. So it actually, remember, it had like the kitchen and stuff in the back. So we rented it. It was 2 storefronts that were connected in the middle. And one was going to be an office and maybe a storefront, which we never did. And then the other one, we decided, because it had a very, very tiny ledge landing thing that was kind of a stage. Yeah. And the owner was cool with us building a stage and playing live music in there. And we had we had neighbors, but they weren't close because we had a parking lot
so
in the back.
The stage side of the building was the corner lot. So you had a side street and the main street. So, and then on the other side that would have touched the building, you had your open storefront. So you did have that sort of buffer zone, and then the parking lot in the back. So really all around it, you had some contact distance from the next buildings.
Yeah. So that was a nice, a nice situation, and the owner was great, and he rented it to us. So I ended up moving there. I was living with Jeremiah and Willow, and maybe Henry James was in our front room. I'm not sure. And realized that I could rent this whole building. We negotiated a price for the whole thing, and so I moved over there. Now this is where it gets interesting, because this is June 1st that I did this.
Mm-hmm.
We took Andy,
Johnny Psycho
on tour, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Henry James was our drummer, our main drummer. He's wouldn't do the tour. I also found out his album released right in the middle of our tour, so that probably has something to do with him not wanting to tour also. He probably had some stuff lined up. But then, for all of the 1034 shows, the club shows, Donnie was my drummer and does the next tour with us and lived there. So that's such a tight turnaround.
Yeah, I remember playing softball with Donnie, just catch in the parking lot of the 1034
Really?
Club.
Yeah, Donnie was super into softball.
No joke, right?
Yeah, surprising no one. Donnie was a catcher and then retired to be a manager and then became an umpire and then I want to say like commissioner of the league or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I must have been talking to Donnie even before the tour because Donnie and I knew each other because Donnie was in a band called The City Silence that we were playing with. And then we did on May 28th of 2004 is the Cleveland Music Awards where I wore the stupid suit and annoyed Donnie. And then Donnie came to one of our parties at our house. So I don't know how we went from kind of knowing each other and not liking each other a whole lot to in the band living with me.
Well, I think you needed a drummer because both Andy from Johnny Psycho was out doing his record and Henry James was touring his record.
That must have been what it was. So, and I'm assuming that this Silence broke up, fell apart, whatever. So Donnie came over to us. So yeah, Donnie had moved in right when I got back as well. Cause I remember I moved into the front bedroom, and then for some reason Donnie wanted that one. So I just moved into the back one. I just remember being in both bedrooms of that house. So, okay. Now let's talk about the stage and the building of the stage and the building of the sound system.
The sound system. So I don't remember much about the physical construction of the stage, although I think I was part of it. I do remember a lot about the sound system. So maybe if you want to start with the stage.
I'll tell you about the stage. Yeah. Okay. So I remember more of the stage than the sound system. So it was what we were started with, what was there was this, a lot of Cleveland businesses have these, and I don't 100% know why, but it's like a 2.5 foot step up where the windows are, almost like a window box seat. A lot of barber shops have these. I guess it's probably where you put your wares in the windows. They're taller. I don't really know. But so glass, giant floor to ceiling glass windows on both sides, right? 'Cause it's a corner thing. And then it
had beautiful lighting in there, actually.
Yeah,
really good natural light.
So I went out and I wanted something fun that would catch your attention, and so I went to Joann Fabrics or Michaels or something. I was just looking for some fabric, and I still don't know what it is. I have some left. It's pink and purple tie dye with anime girls on it, and it was like 5 anime girl characters with pink and purple tie-dye, stretchy material. So I bought it, and it was like $1 a yard. So, no, not even $1. It was less than that. So I bought a bunch of it and hung it over the windows to darken it. And then we took carpet and put it behind that. So that way to try to dampen the sound and to try to not break the windows. Now I would have literally built a wall back there. I cannot believe we just had windows and didn't.
I don't think we could afford a wall.
No, for sure. We could not. So we decided to make the stage not a triangle, but like diamond shape, right? Like it came out a couple feet from the front door and then cut over at an angle, then had a front, then another angle. So it was a really awkward angled stage. And we basically built it by just sheet of plywood at a time. Like we would just have a sheet of plywood and we would support that sheet of plywood and then do the next one and then cut the angle as needed and then try to like screw the 2 sheets of plywood together. So the stage was pretty rickety and not cohesive in any way. Every sheet of plywood was a different thickness and different age.
I think we probably didn't have many tools. I know I did not at that point. So
there's a really funny, do you remember this? So Miranda was with us as a child when we were, and she was probably like 4 or 5. This was her first all-nighter. You and I built the stage all night. and we put carpet on the stage. We carpeted the stage,
mm-hmm.
and we were nailing the carpet in instead of screwing it in. And we had nails, and you had a hammer, and I had a hammer, and your hammer was a finishing hammer. And I
actually do remember that one because I think that was one of my ones from childhood. It was a little black handled, and then just a tiny for finishing nails.
And I had a carpenter, a big, huge carpenter hammer that I still have. Somehow this thing has lasted my whole adult life. And I think I found it there. I think that's where I got it. And so I was hitting the nails and we went to Denny's afterwards, and it was 5 a.m. or something. And Miranda had been up all night, and it was me and you and probably like someone, who knows. And we're sitting there, and Miranda goes, "Man, Jamie had a really hard time nailing the carpet." And I'm like, "Yeah." And Miranda was like, "You're way better at nailing carpet than Jamie is." I'm like, "Yeah, probably." And she's like, Is it because her hammer's so small?" And we're like, Maybe it's because her hammer is so tiny that she doesn't nail the carpet correctly. And she's like, "And yours is really big, and that's why you can nail carpet correctly." I'm like, "Yep."
Never have more accurate things been said by a child.
It was just so funny. I just remember it being like, "Okay, please stop."
So true, though.
We built a stage. And in fact, I remember you can talk about the monitors, which were not monitors, but I remember we strategically put the monitors places. And when bands would start to move them, I go, hey, you can't move the monitors because you can't put your weight on that corner of the stage. So they're there to keep people. And people try to stand. I'm like, no, don't stand on the monitors. Not because of the monitors, because you're going to go through the stage. Like there's some soft spots you got to be careful about.
Oh my God.
So, okay. So tell us a little bit about the making of the sound system.
Yeah, so my memory of the sound system is you said to me, "Jamie, we've got to put together an entire sound system for club, and I have $50. Do it."
That's correct. That's accurate.
Right. Yeah. So at the time, I had a 4x12 Ampeg guitar cabinet that I had pirated the speakers out of and put them into 4 little plywood enclosures. I had horns and crossovers I got from Radio Shack. And so I'd made these 4 things, and so I'd had them for other purposes. So I believe we had used 2 of them as monitors and 2 of those as front of the house. That's at least my memory. So I just donated those to the club because I wasn't going to use them.
Yeah, so I know at least. So I had
your DJ monitors.
Yeah, they weren't monitors. There was 1x12 speakers. They used to go up on like plastic stands.
Yeah,
and I do remember us taking those, and this is how late. I don't know if we were lazy or incompetent. I don't know which. But how they would have like the screw-in thing at the bottom.
Yep.
Right, to like fit onto the pole.
Yep.
So we didn't even take that off. We just flipped them upside down and then took a hammer and nailed 2x4s at an angle with one nail, so that way you could move them. And that was a monitor. I remember and that was like, that made sense to me.
Yeah, so it's actually possible we used all 4 of mine then as front of house.
And those yours were all front of house, and I think mine were monitors. That's my memory. Yeah.
So I then had
why did we have monitors? Why would we have monitors in that place?
I know, right?
It holds 12 people. There's no need. And you can hear it.
Right. The bands weren't going to be better or worse for hearing themselves anyway.
We had a big drum monitor. We were using something. Because I remember you trying to set up a drum monitor and the drummers being like, "Can I get more?" I'm like, "I'm not turning that on." I think it was like a big keyboard amp or something we were running as a drum monitor or something.
Do you think it was your custom bass amp?
It could have been. It could have been. But I remember every time you weren't there, I'm like, no, we're not running that. Just try to listen. I'm not doing that.
Absolutely. So I had from high school 2 or maybe 3 of these Radio Shack dynamic microphones with a switch that the cable was hardwired into the mic and ended in a 1/4-inch mono cable. So they were not even XLR capable microphones. I also had an old, I think it was PV powered mixer with 6 or 8 channels, and I had the head for a keyboard amplifier. And what we used is the powered mixer was for our mains, and then the aux sends from that would go to the keyboard amp, which would power the monitors. So there was only one mix in the monitors. That's what you got. and we went to Radio Shack and we bought whatever cheap speaker wire we could afford. Certainly not the type that should handle a club, but like that, just like, pull strip, you'd use it for your home stereo speakers. And that's how we ran long cable from the little sound booth area, which was in that kitchenette area, up to all those monitors. I mean, just the thinnest, crappiest wire you had. You had a couple of mic stands, and yet somehow we managed to have front of house monitors and a bunch of mics.
Yeah, and I think what did we duct tape all of the wires to the ground instead of running a snake?
I think we actually taped them to the wall.
Taped them to the wall and ran them around?
That way people wouldn't step on them. That's at least my thought.
And there was, so this place had a kitchen, and it had not walk-ins, but it had really giant glass freezer. No, it had a giant freezer, and then it had glass coolers. Right? And and it had like a metal table, like a butcher's table or like a prep table. So we drug that prep table out and just sat it about 3/4 of the way back in the room, and that became the live booth or whatever you want to call it, right? The front of house mix guy. So I would sit there for every show and run sound off this little mixer, and I mean, I don't know. We took it a little too. It was weird because we took it too seriously and also not seriously enough. We should have either tried harder or not tried. We tried, so it was just weird and bad, right? Like we should have just been like it's an open space.
We did.
Yeah, we should have. I should have put my two 12-inch speakers up. We should have daisy chained them to yours down and said, "There's 2 mics and some speakers. The rest is up to you." Instead of trying to be like, all right, so what do you need for your monitor mix versus, what are we doing? Come on.
But that's what 24-year-olds do, right?
Yeah. We should have, DIY piled up some speakers and said, we have a cobbled together front of house that's loud enough it'll get over your cymbals. That's all. So I don't know if people know that, right? And do you agree with that? Like the only thing you're looking to do in a room that small is get your amps and vocals over your drums.
Right, because you don't expect young drummers to be able to balance their volume against the band the way other drummers might be able to. So you're really saying, what do I need to get the vocals heard over the drums? Particularly cymbals tend to carry. It's interesting how kick drum actually fades in a space like that.
Yeah.
So snare you're usually okay.
Yeah. So miking the kick might make sense, maybe. But everything else is just get your guitars a little bit over the cymbals, get your vocals over everything, go.
Right. The band has to pretty much set their own volume with their amps against the kit, and then you're just trying to get those vocals heard.
So that's the club. And then the decor. Let's talk about the decor real quick. So the club, we were allowed to paint. The guy was cool with whatever. Do you remember, were you there when we broke the air conditioner? So we had the fucking fire marshal or whatever he was just wanted a payday. And I wasn't getting that. And he would come almost daily and give me shit until finally someone said, Lance, I think he just wants paid. And then we did, and we never had a problem again. We did have problems, but not from him. So we had a big, gigantic window air conditioner cut into the wall of the club. I don't know if you remember this at all, but
was
right by the stage.
Over the door? That was over on the side by the stage.
Yeah, we had one over the door too. We had a little one over the door that worked, and then we had a massive one cut into the side of the wall. And for some reason, he wouldn't give us a permit until that got pulled out. And then we had to have a ceiling fan installed for airflow. And we're like, what fucking club has a ceiling? Like, what are you talking about? Me and my idiot friends, we had to take it out. So we ripped it out. Someone was like, we got to go throw this off the roof. So we carried it. So, okay, I will talk about this briefly. So upstairs, we had an apartment. You came in through the kitchen. There was 2 bedrooms. There's a living room and a dining room and a bathroom. That was the whole thing. But in my bedroom, the window opened to nothing. It was like this weird shaft in our building that had like brick all the way around it, and I don't 100% understand it. So we got a painter's ladder, and you could climb through. Do you remember this at all? Or I don't know if you've ever.
No, I don't at all.
Okay,
so and I was only up in that apartment once, believe it or not.
Oh, really? That's wild. Yeah. That's wild. So you could climb through my bedroom window onto this weird hidden porch thing. I don't know, secret room inside this thing. Really tall, like commercial grade painter's ladder that I'm sure we stole from somewhere, and we put it up and so we could climb up.
And this wasn't the back wooden secondary entrance stair system.
No. Okay. This is so once you're up there and in the apartment,
okay,
then you could go through my bedroom window and then climb a ladder out on, and we get up on the roof. So we used to get up on the roof that way all the time. And so we got up on the roof and through this air conditioner into the street, I think onto Lorraine, broad daylight. And it turns out they have like Freon in them or something that is like, you get to properly dispose of them. Cops come, fire truck comes, we get a ticket. Like everyone's pissed at us. Everyone's pissed at us. They had to close Lorraine for a little bit because there's like a spill where it's leaking out.
You're lucky the chop shop across the street didn't take you guys out for closing the street down.
Do you know about the fight we got into with them?
No, but I know there was the shop.
So we had a shop full of bikers across the street who weren't the friendliest. And one night we just all got water balloons and got up on the roof and just started whipping water balloons, and they could not figure out how to get to us, and it was awesome. It was so fun.
You're so lucky you didn't get murdered after that.
We had a party up there one night with a DJ. We ran an extension cord up there. I don't know why. I used to really like to sleep outside. I spent many nights like just climbing out there and laying with a blanket and pillow.
Sounds
and
awesome.
Just hanging out at the rooftop. Loved being up there.
Well, what's cool is you're up high enough and you're in a city, so you're not going to have bugs and shit like that.
Yeah, no. And then the way the building was made, the wall all the way around it was about 4 feet maybe, so no one could see you up there unless you're literally hanging over the edge, which is, when we were hitting the bikers with water balloons, we would chuck them and then duck, and then they would have the water balloons are falling out of the sky, so but me and used to we did this once, and it was, so we used to go up to the roof and then pull a ladder up, and it was so long we could go from building to building. And we used to lay it across and walk across, drag it, and like we would go 4 or 5 buildings down and go exploring and stuff, which is insane. But
that's amazing.
And it would like dip and sway and stuff. We're like, oh shit, and like run across. Because on the other side where my office was, I had sloped the walls. I'd bent a couple pieces of plywood so I could just skate up my walls like a half pipe while I was working. So we used to skate that whole thing. I remember I used to put boards where the stage was, and we could skate down there and go into the other room and then skate up and down the half pipe. So like the whole thing was very skatable.
I love that.
And then I was hanging out with Droid's crew, which we mentioned in other podcasts, and we did 2 different paint jobs. The first one, I think we painted the whole thing purple, and then let all of Droid's crew tag it. Everyone had their own section. I have pictures somewhere. I got to find them, because those are, in my mind, for my era, those are like legendary graffiti artists. And we had some really, we had Riddler and Lost and Sim and Spend and Poke and Prey. So we had like, just for me, it's like a who's who of 90s and early 2000s. And I remember I had a great memory of just like skating around and sitting on the stage while they just, all of them just came in and bombed the place together. We were listening to music. I'm like, this is the fucking coolest thing I've ever seen. And then one of the dudes, Hoer, Hoer, he started living with us. He was from, I think, Texas, and he started living with us. So that it became the, like, not even unofficial. It was basically the official hangout of Droid's crew every night. They would just come to the shows, no matter if it was hip hop or punk or metal, and they would get in free and hang out. And then once everyone went home, then we'd all go out tagging and stuff. And it became like the clubhouse of this graffiti crew. So, and of our record label and all of our bands and stuff as well. I remember someone stole my skateboard during one of the shows, and we literally just got like 10 dudes and rode around in my van for 2 days, and it only took 2 days, and we found someone was skating my board. I'm like, that's mine. He's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, don't do it again. He's like, okay. Like, yeah. So that was, and then he told everyone, he's like, I got beat up. I'm like, no one even touched this kid. We just took the skateboard back. But yeah, so that was the club. Getting permits was hard. The hardest part for it, and I've ran into this several times in my life, Cleveland and maybe everywhere only wants to give you what's it called? Capacity.
Okay.
The capacity for how many parking spots you have. Mm-hmm. So their whole thing was like, you have 3 parking spots in the back, so 4 people per car. We'll let you have 12 people in this building. And I'm like, fuck that. Like, restaurants all over this place hold 60 people at lunch. They have 0 parking. What the fuck are you? But they're like, no, because you're a concert club. So in Cleveland, concert clubs have to have a parking space for every 4 people. Like, that's why the Agora has that parking lot, or there has to be at least paid parking options nearby. They don't want that many people on the streets parking, basically. Which, the grog shop doesn't, but I guess they count that.
They have the whole garage there. Yeah.
So that was our big fight, and we ended up selling pizza and soda and saying that we were like a social club that allowed music. Was how we were getting around that for a few months before we got in a bunch of trouble.
I remember buying things in bulk and buying $5 Little Caesars pizzas and.
Yeah, we would get the buy one get 2 free from.
Is that Marco's?
Pizza Pan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Down on Lorraine. So, and then we would sell it for like $1 a slice, and then Cokes for 50 cents. And, that was literally just a way to be like, no. We are, just a social club. We call ourselves like a teen club. Oh, I should say we were a dry club. We didn't have a liquor license. We didn't sell alcohol. Yeah. So it was a really, really fun time. It was roughly about 6 months. It was basically June to the end of the year. We ran the first club from June till I think November, and then we opened up a second club in Brook Park, which we can talk about the next week. All right, cool. So that was a little bit about the 1034 Club in the summer and fall of 2004. Mm-hmm. The song we're talking about this week is "I Will Be Fine" off of Manifest Destiny Rebellion. What do you have memories of this song? Do you? Well, I'm assuming you remember it.
What's nice is I do remember it. Like, and that's really the same for like all these songs. Like, I can immediately start singing them. I can hear the production. This album is burned into my brain in the best of ways. It just remains to this day one of the best experiences of my life putting this album together.
I think I said it in the last episode, and I have thought about it. I've actually thought about it a bunch. This is not. I don't think this is my best song. I think this is my favorite song from Darling Waste. Maybe the next version of it is my favorite recording of it.
Did we put it on Death of the Dreamer? Or did we put it on I Am Born?
Yeah, yeah. I think like what you were talking about with Learn to Be Happy, how it's like, oh, the Darling Waste I know has arrived.
Yeah.
Like, this is the Darling Waste song to me, where it's just like, yeah, Changing the Seasons is everyone else's Darling Waste song, but we didn't always have a piano and we didn't always play it. I don't know of very many shows I did not play I Will Be Fine, and it's always if someone says, Lance, play a song, if this is Darling Waste, play a song, I'm like, I'll be fine. And like, that's just like the go-to song forever for me.
What do you think
I have one song to play?
Yeah, what do you think it is about it that has given it that place in your heart?
I think it has a nice mixture of, I think some of our touch polls are Dashboard Confessional, Bright Eyes, Counting Crows, Weaker Thans. I think it sits at a nice intersection of all of those, where it's a little singer-songwriter-y, a little emo-y. It's in that 3/4. It has that kind of like emo twee.
I'm going to, of course, be the jackass and say 6/8.
6/8, yeah. I know. So, and it has that emo twee early 2000s thing that is very nostalgic with some of the sounds we picked. Overly dramatic, woe is me lyrics. And then I can showcase my range on it. I don't know how much I do on the record, but live I can really showcase my range. You can really, really get this song very chill and relaxing, or incredibly emotive and almost uncomfortable when you perform it. So it's very versatile how you want to play it. It plays well full band. It plays well by itself. It plays well with a band of 3, a band of 8. Doesn't, the song is just an easy song to do, and I don't know. It's a very versatile, well-worn, it's like a favorite pair of jeans kind of song for me,
What a nice way to describe it.
Song better than just about anything in the world. I think, like, this is the one thing I'm actually an expert on is I Will Be Fine by Darling Waste.
Do you remember much about, like, the writing of it? Where that started from?
So, as far as the writing, it's weird because it feels like a very early Darling Waste song. But it wasn't on the first record. But it must just miss that cutoff because I feel like it's one of the very first songs for the second record, So in my parents' house, I had my childhood bedroom. But when I came back, for whatever reason, I was staying in what we called the grandma room, which is where my grandmas would stay.
Front room, so you'd go up the stairs and it's immediately on the right.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So I wrote that song there. I also like that. I always like songs that have that downward progression. How this one has the C, B, A.
Such a classic to walk that down.
Yeah, and I do. I love, like, from the Eagles all the way through a bunch of bands, that are newer. Counting Crows, obviously. It's a very southern rock kind of thing, So I'm a sucker for any song that does that. And then, this, as far as I know, is the first time I ever recorded something by myself. I recorded the acoustic to this.
Yeah, and you definitely did play that acoustic.
Yeah, and I recorded it on a computer upstairs. I had moved, it could have been yours, I don't know, upstairs to that grandma room and recorded, and then I think there's a solo in it or something, or a lead line at the end, and I didn't want to go get my electric, so I just put distortion on, I think it's just Nuendo distortion on an acoustic guitar and just saturated. I'm like, this fucking rules. And I think that's pretty much what's on the record is my acoustic guitar with distortion. And, that is something.
Let's actually pause here for a second, if you would, on that, which, like, I think that's a really critical thing that people from our generation were really used to, was non-perfect sounds. We liked that, right? I mean, if you listen to, like, early Smashing Pumpkin records, those are not, like, classically good sounding records. No. And we were okay with plugging an acoustic guitar into a stomp box and doing that and saying, yep, this is not a big 80s refined sound, nor is it that late 90s into 2000s ultra refined alt rock sound, right? We were grunge, right? It was coming 100%. Out very much out of just make loud noise and be frantic and just feel.
No, and 100%. And there was times too in Darling Waste where I would push for that myself, and my bandmates would be like, "Please don't do that." Where I'm like, I'm just going to play the acoustic this tour and just click a stomp box where I want distortion and let it feed back. And that's just like, I like the noise. I like noisy shit, Yeah. I think even on our reunion tour, I was like really super fucking into like getting a bunch of feedback with my guitar and stuff. And I think I was annoying everyone, but like, I don't know. I don't know why. I like ugly shit, Like,
I do too.
I like Fugazi and bands that don't mind being, Cursive's one of my favorite bands, and they are so good at blending. Actually, Cursive's really close to what I wish Darling Waste was, honestly.
I think that's a really interesting comparison, actually, between those two bands.
They're definitely, like acoustic and folky, emo-y, but then they just love to make ugly noise rock shit too, you know, and which I wish we would have had a little more guts and done that a little bit more, you know. Yeah. Darling Waste was a little safe. I wish we would have been a little uglier.
I do think it got more refined after Death of the Dreaming. I know we probably both have some mixed feelings about Death of the Dreaming, but I still think at that era we were trying to do ugly and not perfect. And I do think, even though I love I Am Born and Good and Bad Angels and stuff,
we also more slick.
Yeah.
And it is interesting because I mean, even on Death of the Dreaming, and we'll talk about it when we get there, but like we were throwing an amp around and just getting the sound of the reverb unit being hurt, you know, as part of the sounds, and you know, just doing weird, cool shit. And you know, I did get away from that.
Yeah, I think I have a breathing solo on. I don't know if that's Better I Swear or something like that on that.
Yeah, you do.
There's fun little Easter eggs where we were still being weird, and I don't know if it was because with I Am Born and Good and Bad Angels and stuff, we were producing from a distance from each other, and so there wasn't like these long organic times of just like trying stuff. And instead it was, all right, I've got a few minutes after work, I'm going to write these parts and send them off to Lance. And you know, I don't think it was the ideal creative process.
And I think there was I'm not going to try to be cliche and be like label pressure forced us, but I mean, we were making a product for someone else at that point too. You know what I mean? Like every record on except for the last one, but the last three before that were all influenced by someone outside of the band saying, this is what we're looking for you to do, you know?
And I do think there's some really great songs and moments on those. So not to disparage it like we did your first album.
Sure. All right. You want to jump into I'll Be Fine?
I do. Like a comfy pair of jeans.
This is from Darling Waste. It's a topic, which means it was taken from our album when we loaded it up, and we didn't capitalize will or be or fine. We did it. It's more like a sentence.
Hey, it's all spelled correctly, so we'll take it as a win.
So
if you haven't already, please go out and listen to I Will Be Fine on your favorite streaming platform, because copyright reasons, I don't think we can play Lance's own music on our podcast.
I have been fighting it like crazy. I think you should be able to hear it.
Could you have the podcast license your own song from you?
Well, it's so funny because this whole album, I get a flag and they say, hey, you can't have this song. And I say, yes, I can. I am the author. I have both the writing side and the publication side of the credits. And they say, okay, we're going to go ask them. And I say, okay. And then they email me and say, hey, this guy Lance wants to use your stuff. Is that okay with you? And I say, yes, that's fine. They go, thank you. Then they email me back and say, he's okay with it this time. So I have to do that for every single song that we put out.
Amazing.
So this is, it's because this was from Orchard. This is the Orchard did it. So it's the Orchard has a thing on it, which I guess, good for them. They get me paid, like I said, some rapper used the tiniest bit of one of our songs a couple of years ago as a sample, and I get paid every quarter for it. So cool. It took me forever to even find the sample, and then I almost wrote him like, this is a mistake. I don't think that, and I'm like, oh, I think that is a bit of one of my songs. So
I will be fine, I will not miss her. I'll just spend the night in my bed with some scissors. They'll snip where she's slapped and they'll cut where she's kissed. They'll carve the word nothing while I am not missed. And I will be fine.
So the first thing that jumped up to me is there's two acoustics playing. I think one was the one I recorded direct, and then you mic'd me and had me play it again.
Do you think it's doubled, or do you think that we just used both signals and hard panned?
No, because I think I recorded the one by myself.
Okay.
Direct in, and I really liked the performance. And I was actually wondering when I listened to it, I'm like, is this going to sound okay? Because I'm pretty sure I direct into this thing.
Yeah.
And I can hear that one, and it's a little more like tinny and crunchy, and then there's a really nice one that I think you also had me double.
Although one of my, I don't say regrets on this album, but one of the things that I would change is I just didn't like your Martin guitar. And we use that for most of the acoustics on this. And it's been interesting since watching all the videos from Driftwood Guitars. They have a really cool YouTube channel. I've learned so much about guitar lutherie and why those level Martins sound the way they do, that it totally makes sense for why I've never responded to your
interesting
particular guitar.
I love my guitar.
I know you do.
And love when other people, I'm like, that's a Martin. I can hear it. Like I love the dullness of them, I think is the best way to say it. They're not they're not attacky.
They
not
don't
tinny.
Right, they don't resonate much. There's not much fullness. They're very compact sound. And I understand from the soundboard thickness, the bracing structures, why they sound like that. But so it's interesting. Even though I don't like them, plenty of other people do. We end up having those sort of personal favorites of sound.
Okay. I also like the amount of reverb on my voice, which is not a surprise. I'm a big reverb person. I can't get enough of it. Would you have put less reverb now? Did the reverb
not on this. I think mood-wise for this song in this era,
All right. Here we go.
I will be fine. I will not cry. I won't stay up late at night wondering why. And I will not focus on details. I miss how she never once closes her eyes when we kiss. And I will be fine.
So love the keyboard, the alternating melody, the counter melodies, if you will. Was that you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything but the acoustic, bass, and drums and vocals are.
Was Al on drums for this?
Yep. So Al did drums, you did vocals, bass, and acoustic, and
that's
everything
a tight
else
little
was me.
Snare roll coming in there. He did a good job.
It's not bad.
I wished him happy birthday this week, and he wrote me just the nicest note. Actually, I'm gonna read it.
Well, happy birthday, Al.
And he said, "Thank you so much. I miss playing with you guys. Those were some good years, man. And you have some great tunes with that great voice." So that was very nice.
That's awesome, Al.
And here we go. This is where it changes into I'm bad at this. Is this a? Yeah, it's just a little 2-chord thing before it goes into the chorus. It's not. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the A minor to A sus2. I think is what I've been told this is. I don't know 100%.
I will be fine. I will lie here with each sharpened memory. Shears you cannot take from me with mere lies and treachery. We'll remember every broken promise made with each crimson line we lay in such perfect symmetry.
So that's the chorus. That's the kind of build-up bridge area. Mm-hmm. Any thoughts on all of that?
I think the chorus vocals were a bit safe, both in phrasing and in performance.
100%. They're really choiry. Yeah. I was that. I haven't listened to this version before we started this. Yeah. And I'm surprised at how different I sing it now and how I sing it for a long time. But yeah, just the I will lie here with each other. It's like when you Bing Crosby. Like, it's really pretty. Yeah. I again, going back to what you're talking about with the, like, we're just doing weird shit though. At this point, I don't think I really knew. I mean, I probably subconsciously did, but I didn't really know what a build-up was as far as like risers and stuff and house music and things, which I've done before and, later in Darling Waste music and stuff. So it's interesting that I wrote basically a build-up back into a chorus. And then I really think, and then I don't know if this is just luck or if we were onto something, that's one of the smoothest going from octave to octave transformations or transfers that I've ever done, because it's like the falsetto pretty thing, and you don't even it's not jarring when I start singing the octave higher, because you hear all the falsetto stuff, and it's a really neat transition that I don't think I really planned. It just
I think the bridge worked really well. Love the distorted Rhodes in it. I think all those vocals sort of mixing and coming in and out of each other and stuff, just so you're saying, has created a very smooth transition.
I wanted you to, like, kind of Radioheadish, not be able to quite tell what I was saying, So I remember we were very purposely, like, not enunciating. And even, I mean, for years and years, people, like, because I had to do it live, especially for later years, we did it 4 times instead of 2. And I would go low, then medium, then kind of high, then high. And I would almost be yelling the, like, I am not a hollow shell thing going into the thing. And people live would be like, I never knew those were words until I saw it live. I thought you were just saying oohs and ahs until I heard you do it live. I'm like, oh, he is saying words there, they're probably in the liner notes.
That's a good thing. Look at right now. Yes, in fact, it is.
Yeah, see, could have just opened it up and looked.
Yeah, nobody can read it.
I will say the album artwork obviously is "I Will Be Fine" as well. It's obviously a nod to Counting Crows' album cover that has their August and Everything After poetry thing on it. So I wanted to do something kind of similar. And that is, but it's funny because we made a Change of the Seasons all over print shirt with writing that was one of our best sellers, but it's not the Change of the Seasons lyrics on the front of the album cover. It's I Will Be Fine. I think a lot of people, if there were 6 people or 10 people who knew Darling Waste, I think they would all probably fail that trivia question.
I'll just wander around like a ghost in the city. I'll smile when we meet and I'll say polite hi. I'll never once tell her how I want to die, 'cause I will be fine. I will lie here with each sharpened memory. You cannot take from me, with mere lies and treachery, and will remember every broken promise made, with each crimson line we lay in such perfect symmetry, and I will lie.
So that's me soloing, right?
Right? Well, I don't know. I guess that depends. Is that, if it's on acoustic, then yes, it's you. So that probably is you, because it's that noodly.
It sounds
sort
like
of solo
right?
type. Yeah.
And this is, I think, maybe one of the first instances of me doing this, which is something I do my whole career and live, and this is definitely my style of guitar playing, which is the fast pick, slow left hand, right? Because I don't have a fast left hand at all, so it's really hard. I can't shred. I can't move around on a guitar neck, so I opt for the fast right hand tremolo pick. Slow, very Radioheadish also. So
such perfect symmetry.
Is there a missing stop that's not in this version that's in later versions?
Yeah.
I really miss it. Yeah.
There's two, yeah. The one you're thinking of, the I will lie here with each sharpened. Yeah.
I really miss that one.
I think Delane put that in live, and then we were like, we got to record that. And that became like a big thing for that song.
Yeah, it really needs that.
Yeah, and then in the second verse, that I will be meeting, I'll say polite hi. I'll never once tell her how I want. And we would stop on the I wanna, and then come back in and stuff. So yeah, we became more of an emo-ish anthem-y song after we played it more. So that's really why we wanted to re-record it, is to capture what we kind of were doing with it. And then Delaney also was doing that at the beginning thing, and so we had really, that song had grown a lot. But I forgot how much I really like my little solo thing at the end, and it gets so dissonant and stuff. And I'll be interested to see what we do in the next version. I don't think that level of ugliness is in the song, which sucks. I wish we would have had that more.
I like the sound of the guitar trail off at the end. Whatever effects we had on it sounds great.
All right. Anything else about I Will Be Fine?
Well, now it's got me really excited to hear the next version of it.
Yeah, me too. In like a year.
Because there's some really good bones in this.
Yeah. We covered when it was recorded. I recorded part of it in a room upstairs at my parents' house during the recording. The rest of it was recorded in the basement of my parents' house. Al played drums. I played the acoustics. You played electric and keys. Did you play the
electric and keys, handbells, which are also keyboard handbells that I'd recorded?
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So Andrea played the handbells while I recorded them, and then we used them all over your stuff and her stuff.
Yeah, and they're great. They sound great.
Yeah, they sound great.
Classic single album cut demo. Throw it away. What do you think?
So. This version of it, because I know what's coming, it's somewhere between like a demo and an album cut, because it doesn't get to like single or classic worthy just because of some of the performance stuff in the first half, and some of the add-on things from later versions, but like it's got such good bones. Yeah, no, I agree. I wish, but I'm worried we lose some of the stuff that I really like in the first one and the second one. So I almost was like, I'd like to put them together, Which we can. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. If you could make only one change to the song, what would you change? Re-singing? Yeah, I think I would have to, especially in the first half of it. No, I agree. The lower stuff. I do remember one time we got off stage. I don't know why I remember this, but this is something that always stuck with me because I never thought about it. Someone said, "Man, I love you guys." And it was real early days of Darling Waste. They said, I finding out all these emo bands, and you're one of my favorite emo bands. We're like, "Oh, thanks so much." And the guy's like, "Yeah, and it's crazy because you sing an octave lower than every other singer in this genre." And I'm like, "I don't think so." He goes, "Dude, your voice is so low." And I'm like, "No, it's not." And he's like, "I will be fine." I'm like, wow. And he goes at the end, he goes, when you go, he's like, it's so low. I'm like, oh, I guess so. So I remember being like, oh shit, do I sing too low? I love that. So would you make the same change then? Yeah, I would like to just re-sing the beginning half of this and put a little emotion into it. Is the song too long for Jamie? What do you think? No, I don't think there's anywhere where would you even make a cut? No, I love it. And I love big, long, epic, droney, just grind away, get into that and they only went state twice. Because live we loop that middle part 2 more times and the ending goes 2 more times. Yes. So, and I actually am okay with that too, because I really love those sort of Yeah, so that if anything, this was a little short. What bands and artists influenced this song? We talked about it earlier. I think this is definitely, I guess I had started listening to Bright Eyes by this point, for sure. So this is definitely a Bright Eyes type song mixed with a little Counting Crows and Southern influence. I think there's a fair amount of Radiohead. Yeah, and for sure some Radiohead in there as well. So that's why, those are all my favorite artists, and I think I did a good job aping it, so that's probably why I like the song. Have we played it live? Probably 1,000 times. I think maybe
I think this might be the song we play the most. It's either that or maybe Tour Vans, but I think this might be it. I think if there's one song, it's I Will Be Fine. If it's two, it's I Will Be Fine, Tour Vans. And I think there's probably full tours where we didn't play Tour Vans, but I don't think there's full tours where we ever stop playing I'll Be Fine. So I think it might be the most played song ever. How it's received, it's one of our most popular songs of all time.
Isn't that nice that a song you love is also a song the audience loves?
Yeah. It was a sleeper hit on radio, which was weird. A lot of college stations, when the second album came out, and they had Change the Seasons again. Some of them had already played Change the Seasons a bunch, so they switched to I'll Be Fine. And there's a couple places in Michigan that I'll Be Fine was pretty big and well received. So not a huge single for us, but surprisingly a single for us as well. Okay, ready to get on to the Rex real quick, and then we'll get out of here.
Let's do it. Yeah.
What do you got?
So on Monday, I had one of the single best sour cream donuts I've ever eaten. So
love a sour cream donut.
Yeah, so Ridge Donuts in Rochester, of course, you've heard me just rave about them, and I just have always loved their sour cream donuts, their blueberry donuts, but this particular one was just so fine. So if you're in Rochester, stop at Ridge Donuts. Don't let those people from Donuts Delight fool you into thinking their donuts are anything at all worth eating. Ridge Donuts is your only option.
Hilariously, I also had a sour cream donut today too. And I also had a Fat Elvis. I posted it on my, did I post it on Instagram? Yeah, I posted it on my Instagram. I went to Jack Frost Donuts. I had to get 2 dozen donuts for the office today. And, so I decided to get myself a little treat too. And it is here, I'll see if I can hold it up. It's it's peanut butter in the middle with bacon and powdered sugar on a fried donut. It's called a Fat Elvis. It was probably too rich for me, but I liked it. So if you're in the Cleveland area, Jack Frost Donuts are really good too.
And that's okay. Ridge Donuts will beat them up. So
probably. I mean, Jack Frost isn't, I don't know. We have a weird, Cleveland's really into the like extravagant donuts right now. That's our whole donut scene, is like, how much shit can we pile on a donut?
Yeah.
Which I don't love. So my rec this week, I've been watching a bunch of TV, which is weird for me. I don't watch a ton, but I'm finishing up The Boys, which I would not recommend unless you love ultra violence and crude things. I am watching The Legend of Vox Machina on Amazon, which is I am huge into Critical Role, which is a live play Dungeons and Dragons thing that's been going on for like 12 years now or something. Every week they play about 4 hours of D&D, and I watch it. They got to animate their first campaign, so and season 4 of that is coming out next week. So I'm just kind of speed running the whole thing. Again, it's crude, it's stupid, and you can tell at times it's definitely an anime based on D&D, based on the way that the battles happen and stuff. If you're a fan of the Castlevania anime, which I really was, I'm not an anime person, but I really liked Castlevania. It feels it's done by Titmouse, which I believe is the same people who did Castlevania. So I recommend that. It's 4 years old, but they're doing a new season starting this year. So watch that and play Dungeons and Dragons. That's my recommendation. Play Dungeons and Dragons with your friends. I love Dungeons and Dragons. Also, I'm so close to being a 700 in chess. I have been hovering around 700 ELO for like a while now. ELO, not ELO. But I've had a good week. I keep hitting 700 and then going back down and hitting. I'm not gonna say I'm 700 until I can stay there for a while, but
yeah, you'll crack it. I believe in you.
Getting real close. So feeling good about that. So, but that's it. That's it. Next week is a list of demands, the Dane Cook song, which it sucks to say that. But list of demands is a fun song. We will also go over some more stuff from the 1034 Club and go from there. Awesome. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate you. I love you. Have a great week, and I will see you next week.
It's been a pleasure. Love you. Say hey to the family.
Will do. You too. All right. Bye.
Bye.